An unlikely alliance, Trump and the evangelicals. Donald Trump's presidency marked a turning point in the relationship between American politics and religion. His rise to power was particularly jarring for many, given his personal history and public persona, which seemed at odds with the values of American Christianity. Yet a significant portion of white evangelical Christians embraced Trump with fervor. This unlikely alliance raised questions about the motivations and beliefs of these voters. It also sparked debate about the compatibility of Trump's policies and rhetoric with the teachings of Christianity. Trump's personal life, marked by multiple marriages and accusations of sexual misconduct, stood in stark contrast to the family values often espoused by evangelicals. His brash demeanor and penchant for inflammatory language seemed to contradict the humility and grace emphasized in Christian teachings. Despite these apparent contradictions, Trump managed to cultivate a strong following among white evangelicals. This support proved crucial to his electoral success. This unlikely alliance between a thrice-married casino magnate and a significant segment of American Christianity became a defining feature of Trump's presidency. Understanding the factors that led to this union is essential for comprehending the evolving landscape of American politics and the role of religion within it. This unexpected alliance shocked many observers. It exposed deep divisions within American Christianity and raised concerns about the politicization of faith. The impact of Trump's presidency on the evangelical movement and on American Christianity as a whole continues to be felt today. The allure of power. Trump's appeal to evangelicals. To understand the seemingly paradoxical embrace of Trump by many white evangelicals, it is crucial to examine the factors that fueled his appeal. One key element was Trump's projection of strength and authority. In an increasingly secularized and polarized society, many evangelicals felt that their values were under attack. They yearned for a leader who would champion their cause and restore what they perceived as a lost moral order. Trump, with his aggressive rhetoric and uncompromising stance on issues like abortion and religious freedom, presented himself as that champion. He promised to appoint conservative judges, protect religious liberties, and fight against what he characterized as the erosion of traditional values. For many evangelicals, these promises outweighed concerns about Trump's personal behavior and temperament. They saw him as a flawed vessel chosen by God to achieve their political goals. Furthermore, Trump's success in the business world resonated with the prosperity gospel, a strain of theology popular among some evangelicals that emphasizes material wealth as a sign of God's favor. Trump's wealth and business acumen were seen as evidence of his divine blessing, further cementing his appeal among this demographic. The allure of power, the promise of a return to traditional values, and the resonance with the prosperity gospel all contributed to Trump's strong support among many white evangelicals. This support became a defining feature of his political base and played a significant role in shaping his presidency. A distorted faith, Christian nationalism, and Trump's rise. The convergence of Trump's political ambitions and the anxieties of a segment of white evangelical Christians provided fertile ground for the rise of Christian nationalism. This ideology, which promotes the idea that America is fundamentally a Christian nation and seeks to impose Christian values on society as a whole, found a powerful voice in Trump. He embraced Christian nationalist rhetoric, casting himself as a defender of Christianity against perceived threats from secularism, liberalism, and immigration. Trump's embrace of Christian nationalism was evident in his policies and pronouncements. He frequently invoked religious language and imagery, positioning himself as a warrior for God and country. His administration implemented policies that favored conservative Christian groups, such as restrictions on abortion access and LGBTQ+ rights. This alignment with their agenda further solidified Trump's support among Christian nationalists, who saw him as an instrument to achieve their vision of a Christian America. The rise of Christian nationalism during Trump's presidency raised concerns about the erosion of the separation of church and state, a cornerstone of American democracy. Critics argued that Christian nationalism promotes intolerance and discrimination, undermining the pluralistic nature of American society. The influence of Christian nationalism on American politics continues to be a subject of intense debate and scrutiny. Trump's presidency provided a platform for Christian nationalism to gain prominence and influence, shaping the political landscape and raising concerns about the future of religious freedom and pluralism in America. Section 4. The Anointed One, the Chosen One narrative, and Trump's presidency. The fervor with which many white evangelicals embraced Trump extended beyond mere political support. It took on a distinctly religious tone. Some prominent evangelical leaders went so far as to declare Trump God's chosen leader, drawing parallels between Trump and biblical figures like King Cyrus, a flawed but ultimately righteous leader chosen by God to fulfill his purposes. This chosen one narrative, disseminated through sermons, books, and social media, resonated with a segment of evangelicals who saw Trump's presidency as divinely ordained. They believed that God had chosen Trump for this moment in history to restore America to its supposed Christian roots and usher in a new era of righteousness. This belief fueled unwavering loyalty to Trump, even in the face of his controversial actions and pronouncements. The chosen one narrative had a profound impact on how Trump's supporters perceived his presidency. It provided a framework for interpreting his actions, excusing his flaws, and rationalizing his often divisive rhetoric. Critics argued that this narrative was dangerous, as it elevated Trump to an almost messianic status and discouraged dissent or criticism. The long-term consequences of this theological framing of Trump's presidency are still unfolding. The chosen one narrative, embraced by some evangelical leaders and their followers, had a significant impact on how Trump's presidency was understood and supported, raising concerns about the role of religion in political discourse and the potential for its manipulation. Section 5. Voices of Dissent. Christians against the Trump phenomenon. While Trump enjoyed significant support among white evangelicals, it is important to note that not all Christians embraced his presidency. In fact, a diverse group of Christian leaders, theologians, and communities emerged to challenge Trump's policies, rhetoric, and the theological justifications used to support him. These dissenting voices represented a range of denominations and theological perspectives, united by their belief that Trump's actions and ideology were incompatible with the teachings of Jesus Christ. These Christian critics condemned Trump's policies on immigration, healthcare, and climate change as immoral and harmful. They challenged the chosen one narrative, arguing that it distorted Christian theology and undermined the gospel message of love, compassion, and justice. They also spoke out against the rise of Christian nationalism, warning of the dangers of conflating faith with political ideology. Despite facing criticism and even ostracism from some within their own communities, these dissenting voices played a crucial role in providing an alternative Christian perspective on Trump's presidency. They offered a prophetic witness against what they saw as the corruption of faith for political gain, and called for a more just and compassionate society. Their voices remain important today as they continue to advocate for social justice and challenge the legacy of Trump's presidency on American Christianity. The presence of these dissenting voices within the Christian community highlights the diversity of views and the ongoing struggle to uphold the values of faith in the face of political polarization and the misuse of religion for partisan ends. Section 6. Reclaiming the Narrative, the Future of Faith and Politics. The Trump presidency left an indelible mark on the landscape of American Christianity, exposing deep divisions and raising profound questions about the role of faith in public life. As the nation moves forward, it is imperative for Christians and people of all faiths to engage in thoughtful reflection and dialogue about the intersection of faith and politics. One crucial task is to reclaim the narrative of faith from those who would distort it for political gain. This requires a renewed emphasis on the core teachings of Christianity, such as love, compassion, justice, and humility. It also demands a commitment to truth-telling and accountability, holding leaders accountable to ethical standards and challenging falsehoods and misinformation. Furthermore, there is a need for greater dialogue and understanding across lines of difference. Christians from different denominations and backgrounds must engage with one another respectfully, seeking common ground while acknowledging their disagreements. This dialogue should extend beyond the walls of churches and into the public square, fostering a more civil and productive discourse on issues of faith and politics. The future of faith and politics in America depends on the willingness of people of faith to engage critically with their beliefs, to hold leaders accountable, and to build bridges of understanding across lines of difference. By embracing these values, we can work towards a more just and compassionate society where faith serves as a force for good rather than a tool for division and oppression.